Yeah, we're
We're
good.
going.
We're on. Can you tell?
Hello.
How do you know?
It goes on air. It says on air.
Does it?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
good. Then I don't need to fucking ever say that again.
No, you don't. Right. I will cut this bit out of the actual pod,
Good
but it'll be
luck.
on the YouTube bit though. So hello and welcome to the 2K Fantasy Premier League podcast. I forgot what podcasts are on there for a moment. We have just finished game week 28. Arsenal are still 5 points clear at the top. I have had a very nice time watching Arsenal try to throw away a 2-1 lead against 10-man Chelsea in the last 5 minutes of the match. Luckily, it was the other side. Luckily, I was at the other end of the pitch, so I probably didn't quite see the drama of Raya sort of making a wonder save at the end. But yeah, very, very happy. We're looking ahead to game week 29. It is fast and furious though, because this is Sunday night. We are, what is it, 6:30 Tuesday? Is it 6 o'clock Tuesday, the deadline? Which is just a horrible time. We've got a few players with illnesses. Yeah, 6 o'clock Tuesday. I thought it might be because got 7:30 kickoffs. So it's a very quick turnaround, less than 48 hours from when you'll be listening to this. And we've got a few knocks. You got, big stars like Haaland out at the moment. So quite a lot of decisions for people to make. I think the plan for this pod is maybe Kevin and I just quickly reflect on this game week, and then I think we'll probably dive into questions. And all the questions we've got are things that you and I probably need to think about for our teams as well, which I think is helpful. So, without further ado, is it worth? I don't know, Kevin, have you got the scores up for the teams?
Yep. You want me to do me first or you first?
I'm happy to go first. So I've had a weird week where I can't even find my own team.
It's not going to have your Vice updated yet and all that shit.
No, it's not. So I'm going to end up on 75 points from the looks of it, which is a decent score. I think it'll be a green for me, which is despite the fact I had Vice on Thiago rather than Bruno Fernandes, which I probably should have had it there. But anyway, it is what it is. So I kind of lost out on 7 points there. But my Wilson coming in for 12 points has been a bonanza.
Yeah.
Albeit, it sounds like he might have gone off injured, because I was kind of torn between him and Iwobi. Iwobi got 10. Obviously, if Wilson's injured and Iwobi isn't, then I'd be better off going Iwobi. But anyway, it is what it is. I can't complain with 12 points for him. But obviously, Bruno Fernandes, I assume, hurt me, because I assume he was by far the biggest captain favourite, given that Haaland didn't play. I still have Jurrien Timber, who everyone seemed to have sold, and you benched him, didn't you? So I was double whammy.
You guys have been looking like fucking shit on clean sheets lately. I mean, he scored, but it's not like he kept it clean. And of course, he's nowhere near defensive contribution. So I don't know when these guys are going to score.
No, you don't. I mean, he actually missed a really good chance in the first half. I think he dummied the play and then just swiped the ball. And I was like, there's some stats around. He's missed all these massive big chances, but obviously he got one this time round.
His third goal of the year. We're in game week 28. You let me know when he scores next. I'll make sure I play him. I still think he's a leading sell candidate.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. Oh, yeah. I'm not saying not selling him wasn't a bad, selling it wasn't necessarily a bad thing. I'd just say it's nice that I still have him.
His other two goals came in the same fucking game, too. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was a 22-point early goals. Rice got 5 points. And I guess people are selling Rice, so that was probably a nice little boost. I guess the other note, my Joaquin Phoenix was ill, so I get in Tarkowski's 3 points off the bench, and I'm getting João Pedro's 2 points off the bench for Haaland. And I guess the other point of note is Elliot Anderson only got 1 point because he only got 10 defensive contributions, but he was playing Brighton, and I'm sure there's a thing where when you play Brighton, you just get less defensive contributions. But I mean, that's just a blip. I mean, Anderson
that's his first miss since game week 16.
Yeah, exactly.
Versus Spurs, and then he had one other miss until game week 7. And then Ange was there, and his only other miss besides that is 11-11-11. And the one in game week 7 was
last 10. Time played Brighton, he got 18. Yeah, to be fair, but anyway.
Even when he misses, he's getting 10, 11. Yeah, I mean, it's just...
Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, I'm not massively concerned about it. He's still a great pick from my perspective. And obviously, I didn't get Liverpool clean sheet because Liverpool went back to not keeping clean sheets like we expect. I mean, it's kind of what you were saying last week. I know Van Dijk scored, but you're like, well, you can't trust Liverpool to keep a clean sheet, and they didn't let a couple of goals in. So, but I'm not sure any of the keepers have done that amazingly well. And I know there's a question on keepers later, which we'll have to pick up. So anyway, I'm going to end up with 75. Despite the fact I got Bruno wrong.
These are fucking massive scores that happened this week. Like, what before I talk about my team, what are you doing?
I don't know, because obviously Joaquin Phoenix is ill, so he may be back on Wednesday or Tuesday, whenever Fulham are due to play. I mean, ideal world, I roll.
Okay. So you're rolling.
But I might sell Haaland.
Why? What if they get a game? You got to wait for that.
Maybe. Yeah.
Ekiteke has Wolves away. It's not as good as you think. Plus, fuck, the last time Ekiteke went bananas, I got him, and then they fucking horny slut benches him. So it's like, there's still this psychopath manager doing weird shit with the lineup. He is awesome, though.
But my plan was always to roll. However, if Wilson's injured and Haaland's injured and Anderson's still ill, then suddenly I'm down to a bare bones team. Yeah. And that might force my hand. And the most sensible player to sell would be Haaland. And I know we had this big debate last week, and do you sell Haaland and create the money, etc. I guess the downside, we'll come to it in a bit. The downside of selling Haaland is I'm not sure where I'm going to invest the extra money, because Mo Salah doesn't get a return in a 5-goal game for Liverpool. I know he's ticking over a little bit, but he's not worth the 14 million Kings currently stand.
Definitely not.
Cole Palmer isn't worth the money, and I know he's got some returns, but 3 of those are penalties or something, weren't they? It's just like, okay, they're not going to get penalties every week, and Chelsea's fixtures are harder now. So, the players that you want to spend money on, you don't need the money. It's only if Haaland's out. And what I'd kind of concluded after our sort of ding dong last week around for game week 31 was I would sell Rice and Semenya in game week 31, assuming obviously City blank. But I'd also sell Timber, and I'd sell Timber for defender. And the reason for that is it gives me 4 defenders. I'd stick to Tarkowski on the bench, because one fear is if you kind of go with just 3 defenders in that game week, and one of your defenders misses out through illness, as I proved today, Anderson out of nowhere, he just doesn't play. It's not flagged. Suddenly you're down to 10 players. But if I sell Timber for, say, like a cheaper player, it gives me a bit more cash. So I could even go to a Palmer if somehow Palmer was good, or get a Wirtz, or I get a reasonably good expensive midfielder. So I'm kind of thinking I try and get into that game with a 12, but have an extra and have a defender on the bench. So that's kind of where my head's at the moment. But given all these injuries, who knows? So anyway, that's my team and my kind of rough plan.
Do you want me to jump into mine?
Kevin?
You broke up a bit there, so I think your internet's lagging. You were audible, but there was one little glitch, just a heads up. It wasn't a big deal. But if you didn't hear me, or you can't hear me, just let me know.
Your sounds perfect.
Oh, well, thank you. So my team is here. It's not even that bad. It's just I'm on 62 before João Pedro's 2 comes on. So 64. That's going to be a red arrow. It's a huge scoring week. So 2 things that stood out to me here. My differential players like Mac Tia, James Hill, Sanchez, Bumo, and Anderson, let's say, all blank.
Yep.
So I'm on a red. That's how it goes. Bumo in every other game's being great. Anderson in every other game's being great. Hill in every other game's being great. I mean, he just hasn't got CBIT in the 2 weeks that I've had him, but CBIT's disappeared. We can talk about that later. And Mac Tia, this week he's in for me for a 1 instead of when he got an 11 on my bench. Well, fucking Timber's on my bench with an 8 instead of his normal 1 or 2 he's getting me. So it's just, I basically just have to play the fixtures there. And I guess it's a little frustrating. Like, I don't expect just playing the fixtures means I automatically get clean sheets, but like the random goals just are all happening while they're on my bench. That's like 3 that have happened now in the last couple of weeks. Like, you don't get many goals from these guys all year. So it's a real big fucking blow when they're like 3 in the last 6 weeks have been on my bench. Like, and I'm, that's a hard one for the OR. Totally fucking random. Can't time it. Sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. But when like 3 in a row go against you on your bench, it's fucking sucks. And then the other thing, because I said 2 things, is I felt like I made a really good captain call with Bruno, and then everyone else just got him. It's fucking annoying. Like everyone there's huge scores everywhere this week, mostly because people just got
26 points.
fucking free points from Bruno. Even though Holland was the major captain favorite. I know apart from you, but all your differentials hit. But my thing is, it's like there's good weeks and bad weeks in this game. You get red arrows. I just got to keep focusing on, I think every move that I'm making right now is the right move and a good move. And it's all I can kind of control. And when I'm doing my bench order, it's based on form and fixtures to a degree, right? Say I put Timber in front of João Pedro and João Pedro ends up fucking scoring and getting a 9-pointer, and Timber doesn't score, he gets a 2-pointer. Like, I'm an idiot, right? I felt like João Pedro's form meant he was the better player to put first on the bench, not Timber. And that cost me 6 points, but I do feel like that was the right move. You guys haven't been keeping cleans. I have no idea when Timber's going to score, blah, 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 right? Like, let's just assume that there were no clean sheet points happening, which was correct. Who's more likely to get an attacking return? João Pedro. So I put him first. Anyway, it's just, for me, I got to make sure I know, I do that decision again. I would put João Pedro.
Yeah, the thing is, but and there's obviously no doubt Bruno Fernandes paid off, but
yeah.
I obviously haven't seen it, but from what I gather, it could well have not been. There was a controversial whether it was even a penalty, and United were being battered at that stage.
Yeah, but I was watching the game. I'm curious what his XGI is. There was a period of 5 minutes where he was putting in perfect crosses and passes, like to Diallo, amazing shot on net. To
his XGI is 1.27.
His what?
1.27, but I mean,
for his XI, I don't care about the G. I'm talking about his assist potential. Yeah, 0.41 XA is big, man. You don't get a lot of XA when you have an Unreal cross sent in. My point is, he was back to turning on the spot. Usually what happens is it's Casemiro to Diallo, runs up, takes someone on, passes back to Casemiro, over to Cunha, passes back. As soon as Bruno gets it, he turns and looks forward and lobs it in or passes it into someone that shoots. That's the Ole 2.0 that I remember. It's he doesn't turn back to pass it back. He immediately turns up the pitch and let's attack the second I get it. He either runs and shoots or crosses it in, and he was doing that shit, which is what I want to see. I mean, for me, the reason that I went on him and I have him pulled up here is look at his, okay, home game, 13 points. Let's go to his last home game. Home game, 10 points. Home game, 10 points. Let's go to his next home game. Home game, 10 points. Fuck, dude. He's on an absolute home game tear. I think every time he has a home game, we need to consider we should probably captain Bruno at Old Trafford right now. Yeah. I don't know when his next home game is. I'm just saying out loud.
It's been in a couple of weeks. But I guess there's another narrative where they don't get the penalty there, or Lequan doesn't make that mistake, and they're not.
You can't do the shoulda woulda. He had 2 penalties earlier He had 2 penalties earlier this season he missed. What if he made them? We could do that all fucking day long for everyone. The fact that he takes penalties on this.
I know. No, but that's not my point. My point, because you were kind of saying before that defenders getting results, getting their goals was a bit random. Yeah. There's a little bit of any game week you can have an element of luck here, right? Because there's if that's a controversial penalty, you don't get the penalty, he doesn't get the score, he blanks, he suddenly looks like it's not worked out for people. It can flip both ways. I mean, you're probably right. Bruno Fernandes is probably quite a good option at home at the moment, but he could easily blank in the next home game, and he could have a blinding game and not get a return. It's part of football, though, isn't it? Totally. Any game by game is tough like that.
I'm going to captain him when he has Villa home. I don't know who else has what in 30.
100%.
It's also a week where there's going to be potentially a lot of rotation for Arsenal, Chelsea, and City. That's the game week 30 game where you guys have the Wednesday Champions League, Tuesday Champions League.
Champions League, either side of it. Yeah.
So
I mean, I guess, arguably there could be rotation this week because we've got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. We've only got a few days recovery. So anyone that's gone off with a little knock, you've got to think they're going to struggle to be playing on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday.
Can I ask you a question for my bench this week?
Yeah.
So I have Anderson for sub. I don't like it. I think he needs to play every week. I think this 1-pointer week was an anomaly.
100%.
He's going to be back to 4-pointers plus. By the way, he took the set piece kick at the end of the game there and almost tied it. So like he's not just a C-bit guy. He's like on the kicks. Like the fact that he doesn't have many attacking returns is like he's underperforming that. He's due for some kind of goal or an assist at some point here based on his new role. The team in general is pretty shit on attack. I don't think they're going to get much away at City, but we'll see. So anyway, I got Anderson first bench, João Pedro second bench, Villa away. Like Mac Tia third, Man United home. Of course, he's third out of those three. He'll get a goal. And Seabit. But Timber, Brighton away. I mean, he is definitely in the mix to be benched over. Like, I think I need to go Elliot Anderson before him.
I mean, what I would say with Timber is, I know he scored today, and but I thought he looked tired again because the previous week he went off after 57. I think he looked tired, but we didn't look like we were going to take him off. And I mean, White's not around, but would we start Mascara away at Brighton? Maybe we will. I mean, I think he needs a rest. Maybe we play him because he will get a rest next weekend because we've got Mansfield away in the FA Cup. So it's like, well, okay, he gets a rest then. So he probably does play.
You're breaking up a bit.
Don't be shocked if he gets a random benching at some point.
Okay, so Anderson ahead of Timber is like that's where I was leaning because my other dear like Tarkowski has Burnley at home. Like, look. I can't like say Mac Tia gets Seabit and a goal and he's got an 11-pointer on my bench again. Like I obviously have to play Tarkowski Burnley at home, right? Like
got to.
James Hill has Brentford at home. Now he hasn't got Seabit in 2 straight weeks, but he does look good. Like I'm kind of watching him right now for eye test. He's still on those long throws, which I just think are like a huge added bonus for an FPL player. Where he could just get a sneaky assist. Brentford is a tough home match, though. Like, I think, I've also got Thiago out there. It's sort of like, would you bench him for Timber or with Brighton away? I think I just still go James Hill and diversify the Arsenal clean sheet right now. And the other option is...
Brentford is...
What?
Brentford are good away from home. Brentford are really good away from home.
Where didn't Brighton clean them a week ago?
Yeah, but I think it's more of a but Brentford were at home.
Oh, okay, that's worse.
Yeah, but Brentford are better away from home. It's this bizarre thing whereby,
yeah.
They played Newcastle away, got 3. Played Villa away, got 1. They got cleaned on against Chelsea. They got 4 against Everton.
That's a long time ago, though.
2 against Wolves. But but you go back, but there's very few games they don't score away from home.
Yeah, look, there's very few games anyone's cleaning. I think that the Brentford home fixture is just as tough a clean as Arsenal have of cleaning Brighton away, probably. I think James Hill has a better chance of getting Seabit, and they're probably tied on attacking returns because of his long throws. I mean, look, he's got 3 assists in his last 6 games. That's more attacking returns than Timber has. He's got 2 attacking returns in his last 6 games. So, I mean, Timber just happened to score. So, he's top of mind, and James Hill's just not gotten the CBIT the last 2 weeks. But like the CBIT's definitely James Hill. Timber doesn't fucking get him ever. So if Brighton score, all of a sudden I lose 2 units of clean sheet, right? So it's fine lines is my point, man. I think there's a tough week here for picking. I mean, Holland, let's just say I don't sell him, and he's, we don't know if we're not going to get news if he plays or not. I have pretty decent bench here, so I don't feel like I need to sell him. I'd rather know if they win or beat Newcastle before selling them personally. So I'll just let Timber come on. My other question is, do I go Timber or do I go João Pedro first on the bench? Like, I think I should probably put João Pedro ahead of Timber.
I think my only issue with João Pedro is there a chance he gets a bench in for Chelsea, just because they have had a habit of rotating their team when they've played close together. They seem to focus on the freshness of the players. That's I personally started João Pedro, but it is going through my head is will he get a benching? But look, even then he can still come on and score. And
these are
not playing well.
50-50s if I've ever seen them, bro. These are not like you're making a bold call here going Timber or João Pedro first on your bench. Like, what? Like, look, I fucking 50-50'd it wrong this week. I'll probably 50-50 it wrong 3 out of the next 6 weeks. Like, it's literally called a 50-50 because you have no fucking clue. And over 100 times, you're going to get 50 of them right and 50 of them wrong. So when you just get one wrong, it sucks. You feel like you're never going to get one right, but I'm just not going to overthink it.
So
I think Anderson, though, I want in is sort of the main thing here, because him getting a 1-pointer, I think will get in people's heads and they'll bench him with this City away fixture. I think you'll find him on a lot of benches this week, but I think that's a mistake. I think he's going to get like 25 CBIT and get 3 bonus if it's a 1-0. Like, anyway, we'll see. So, I'm hoping. So, just on my transfers, I'm hoping to roll now. Look, I could go Timber to Van Dijk right now. I could go Holland Ekitike. I could sell Rice to Wilson if Wilson's not injured. Those are like the 3 players that I kind of have an eye on. I get Dango's popular and Rayan's popular. I don't love those guys. Like, I don't view Dango as some talisman. I view him as a really good attacking player. But, like, I'd rather have a fit Harry Wilson if I'm going to do any midfield transfer at this point. That's probably it for mids. The only other person on my mind, but that, if Verts is fit, he's on my mind. But if he's not fit, is Zobo. And I think that's who I was going to say to you to consider if you do something with a midfielder later when you were talking about Verts and Mo. I think Zobo's in a really good spot. Like, if Verts is injured, he's playing the 10. He's obviously on every set piece kick. He's probably the best in the fucking league on set pieces at this point right now. Like, if anyone in the league was taking a set piece kick for any team and I had to pick who I feel like is the best, highest likelihood to score, to me it's Zobo. His kicks are fucking incredible. Yeah. I like him a lot. And if he plays right back, it sucks. But you know what? He seems to get CBIT in those games. So he almost becomes like an Elliot Anderson when he plays D. So, and he's still out there taking unreal kicks. So I like him as a pick a lot. And honestly, man, like I was saying before he got injured, Verts has blanked 3 games in a row that he's played with Mo since Mo's come back. So I think Verts is actually a bit of a, like, I would take Zobo over Verts the more I think about it. Ekitike I would like. I need to weigh up if he's worth selling, getting Holland out for. But Wolves away isn't a great fixture. So I don't feel like I need to rush Holland out for Ekitike when he's got Wolves away. I think it's a better Van Dijk fixture. So if I was going to do a move, it would probably be Timber to Van Dijk. Here's my worry. I go do a move like this, and just like Harry Wilson just did, whoever I bring in gets injured, and it's like, I don't have fucking 4 rolled frees like guys like you or however many you have. So that would hurt me. I feel like I need to eat these price drops and not make a transfer until I know the result of the City Newcastle game. And if
And we
City,
will after this game week.
so if City's still blank after that, then I probably can't really do a transfer until the actual 31. That being said, I think I do have one free to like one extra. So it might be worth doing Timber to Van Dijk now and just playing him. But again, now I'm benching Anderson. So is it worth Timber to Van Dijk now for this Wolves fixture and I bench Anderson? Or do I wait, suck up some price drops, keep playing with Van Dijk getting a goal or an assist every fucking week all of a sudden, and everyone else has them, just killing me? Or do I like get more information? I think the smart thing to do is to get more information, but I do feel like if I just go Timber to Van Dijk, I can limit some risk on rank. What do you think?
I think selling Timber's a mistake, if I'm honest, because I think we are due a clean at some point. And I know we're not clean for a little while, but we've got haven't got the Everton fixture coming up soon as well. I just feel like
31 or 30.
And I just don't think Van Dijk's going to continue getting assists and goals. I may be proved wrong.
Well, yeah.
So it's not sustainable. And as you kind of say, these transfers are getting quite precious. I mean, I've got 3 frees, and I'm sat here going, Wilson might be injured, Anderson's ill, Haaland's injured. And I'm still really would like to roll, even though it's not ideal, because that means I'm getting like Chalobah off the bench, who I'm not a massive fan of. Even away at Villa, maybe that's not the worst thing, because maybe Villa, maybe they can clean Villa. So, and you're basically talking about a week, and as you say, next weekend. So by this time next week, I think we'll know if Newcastle, we'll know the Man City Newcastle result in that FA Cup. In the FA Cup.
So when is that game? So
that's going to be critical.
Tuesday's the deadline, and then when are these games here? Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Spurs play
Thursday.
Palace
Thursday. But before we get to game week 30, we will know the FA Cup results.
So that next weekend,
yeah. So FA Cup's next weekend, and then game week 30 is the weekend after. So by that point, to have a week,
that's so long.
Yeah, it's because you got Premier League this week, midweek, FA Cup at the weekend. You'll then have Champions League in the midweek, and then you'll have game week 30 at the weekend. So it's 2 weekends away. Is game week 30.
I think it's also worth waiting for Haaland news. And when do they play on this week? They play on Wednesday. It's almost worth waiting to see if Haaland's fit or not before using this transfer.
So I mean, maybe it's worth jumping to the questions then. So Brian Phoenix asks, is it worth taking Haaland out and replacing with Ekitike? And I think the issue with that is, so for me, if you ignore Haaland, the best 3 forwards for me are João Pedro, Thiago, and Ekitike. They're the only 3 I'm interested in. They're the only 3 that are showing any sort of, I'm going to say form, but any sort of consistent returns over a period of time. And each of them have had blank periods. Let's not kid ourselves that they're all firing it. But arguably, they've probably all been scoring as many as Haaland. Because Haaland, imagine if you put the last 10 game weeks for those 4 players side by side. I could be wrong.
Say that point again. You froze there.
I was saying
your hand like this, frozen.
So what I was saying is, if you put all 4 players side by side in terms of their last 10 game week points, I think what you'd find is you'd look at it and go, which player would you prefer? And I think it'd be hard to pick between the 4 of them, because I just think all of them, So there is an argument that Haaland's form alone is sellable. So there is an argument there. But the question is, if you sold him, what would you do with the extra money? I mean, maybe that's not, it's not the worst thing in the world, right? To have a bit of cash in your pocket. I guess the other downside of it is, you kind of touched on it, Kev, is if Man City blank, So if Man City don't blank, you're going to be going, oh, I've got Haaland, and I really because who would they play in game week 31 if it came back in? Is it
Palace?
Yeah.
Or if they don't, then you're going to want him after because they're going to for sure have a double. We talked about this last pod. Like, I feel like you're going to just lose built up money. Almost hope he is injured just so we all are in the same boat. I hope he's out for the next couple weeks. Like,
I think
they're going to rest him for Real Madrid anyway. Like, I think he will become a sell. Like, ideally, Pep says something like, we're going to rest him for Champions League. He's not going to say that, but like that would be ideal. We all sell him. I mean, Liverpool also have Champions League though. Like, I mean, can we talk about the next couple weeks of fixtures right through game week 31? Like, who has what? I mean, you talk about João Pedro, Ekitike, and Thiago. Like, Thiago, who does Thiago have FA Cup? Who's out of FA Cup? Like, you know this shit better than me. I mean, I could pull it up if you want me to, but why don't we start with Liverpool?
I don't know top of head.
So if I look at Liverpool, they got Wolves Tuesday, then they have Wolves FA Cup Friday. Then they have Champions League. How do you say that? Galatasaray.
Galatasaray.
Galatasaray. That they're next. So they've got 2 league games or non-league games before they then play Tottenham on the 15th. Then they have that Turkish team that starts with a G again on the 18th. So there's a lot of non-fucking league games going in for this team that I'm supposed to bring in just for a Wolves away fixture in game week 29. And game week 30 when they play Tottenham. And like Ekiteke's biggest knock to me is this motherfucker doesn't start him randomly. So I do think he is a bit of a risky pick.
But it is a good point though. If we make you're making a good point here. If you make any transfers for this game week, a lot of any of the big teams, so any teams in Europe will play one European game, and a lot of teams will also still win the FA Cup. So Liverpool, prime example, you say they will play twice before game week 30. So you increase your chance of an injury, as you say, or a problem.
It seems to be all the teams that were like looking at their players too. So,
of course. And well, that makes sense because generally the better teams are still in the cup competitions.
Yeah,
right?
true.
That's how it plays.
Okay, let's do Brentford scheduled next.
So Brentford have got an FA Cup game, but they obviously are not in Europe. So I mean, Brentford. I mean, arguably,
excellent
pick Thiago over Ekitike.
Yeah, if you don't have him, I would definitely do that. Dude, Ekitike had a massive week, right? This is very much a team where Burtz could have a massive week. Mo could have a massive week. Gakpo could have a massive week. I think Ekitike is their player of the season this year. I mean, it's between him and Zobo probably. But Ekitike has been unbelievable for them when fucking Horny Slut actually starts him. What his starting stats versus the rest of the league must be incredible. He's got like 4 braces this year. Plus the 1 goal, 2 assist game he just had. Like, I don't have any of these returns, and I've had him in my team for multiple weeks. It's very frustrating to have him when he just doesn't start. And then he was like Enzo for you recently when I had him. His XG was off the charts, and he just wasn't getting hauls. So he can be a frustrating player to own. Liverpool's form can get ugly. Obviously, he's going to be the top brought in attacking forward this week after what he just did. And you're going to just see Wolves and be like, oh, fuck yeah. And they don't blank. And Haaland looks like he's, injured. So, like, there's just going to be a surge of Haaland Ekitike happening right now.
I mean, one thing saying the Haaland injury is that, and this may have missed people, because so he played I can't remember he played a league game, I think it was, and he got like a bit of a knock. He then had a rest for the FA Cup, which was the Salford game, which was a game they were going to win anyway. Then he did play in the Champions League, I think. He played in the midweek matches, and then in the Premier League.
Keep talking. I need a beer. I need to get a beer.
Yeah. So Haaland then played in the midweek matches, and then he's got injured again. So he's had. It's not like it's a first time knock. He's had this knock twice now, which is the issue. And I think that's the thing with Haaland. It's not as if it's a. I was sort of saying, Kev, he did have a knock a couple of weeks ago as well. So it feels as if it's obviously related, and we've definitely had this with Haaland in his time at Man City, whereby when he gets a knock, he then he kind of plays and then he misses a random game, then he plays and he misses a random game. And obviously it's very tempting to get rid of a guy that currently blanks in 31.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if I weigh it all up, when you play the fact that Ekitike then gets 2 games before game week 30, and I know he might not play both of them, of course. And I mean, unless someone says Haaland is crocked and he's out for a few weeks, if it turns out he's out for a few weeks, then absolutely says 100% sell. But if Haaland may or may not play, and I think for me it's a roll, and I'm sat there with 3 transfers, and I know I could afford to use the transfer and then still unwind it.
I could too, technically, but I do think it's more not so much Haaland, it's more like the other players and the other injuries I might get as well. Yeah. And by the time 31 comes up and maybe they don't even blank. So I've got Chelsea's schedule up here too. So they've got Villa this Wednesday. Then they've got Wrexham, which I could see them rotating because they've got PSG the following Wednesday. I could see João Pedro getting his rest versus Wrexham, unless fucking Netflix has some kind of deal where, you got to play your best players. And then Chelsea play Newcastle Saturday, which is a tougher type fixture for them. And then they got PSG again. So, yeah, I could see some rotation. But, I mean, they just dropped some key points here, didn't they? Losing to you and drawing with Burnley. Or did they lose to Burnley? They drew, right?
They drew Burnley. But one of their issues is they keep playing with 10 men as well.
I know.
That's one of the problems.
They're on the outside looking in for top 5 now. So I don't think anyone's bringing in João Pedro, but I agree with you. There's one more player, though, that I think is a bit of a dark horse pick for forward right now, who's in pretty good form. Can you guess who it is?
Bowen?
Pardon?
Bowen?
I thought you said Owen, like Michael Owen. Fuck. He was good. No. He plays for everyone that doesn't live in the UK's favorite team.
Sesko.
Yeah. Started this week. Scored again. That's 3 straight games. I mean, he does look. No. Did you see the goal, not this game, but last game, where he just fucking ran the whole pitch and Bumo passed it in? Did you see the highlight for that goal? This fucking guy was flying, dude. I actually was like, whoa, dude, that guy was fucking fast, man. One sec, there's a herd of elephants walking on top of me here. Fucking coming in from sledging, as you would say, from outside.
Yeah, I'm not going Sesko.
Me either, but I don't know if you've noticed, but half of the people that play FPL seem to be Man United fans. So I do think he's a potential pick here as a differential.
Their fixtures, I don't think their fixtures are good enough. And I know they've won the last couple of games. I don't think I think they struggled against Everton. Yeah. I didn't see today's game. Obviously, the turning point was the red card, because from everything I could tell, Palace were on top to that point. Yeah. So I'm not massively convinced by it all. And obviously, Sesko isn't the number 1 guy for Carrick, because he had to score 2 games in a row for him to consider starting him. And there's a chance I could see Sesko starting the game and being pulled on 55, that sort of thing.
Yeah, fair.
So I just
he's not the talisman. I think the talisman is like Bruno, and then 100%. Talisman B is Bumo. Yeah. So look, I just thought it was worth bringing up. He's obviously on fire. They also don't have Champions League, right? I mean, do they even have Cup?
They're not in the FA Cup. They're out the FA Cup.
I mean, they're not a bad. That's a really good thing.
Yeah,
that they
the
don't have
amount
to
of rest they're
worry.
getting is helpful. Yeah,
Like I do
I mean
think
they're just
Bumo,
focused on this.
like Bumo just blanked, but I do still think he's a really good pick. Obviously, Bruno's going nowhere. And then after that, I think it's Bumo. I do think some people might swing on Sesko. We'll see.
Well, yes, they will, but I'm not sure short's the right idea. Right, okay. Some more questions. Pete Newman, game week captain conundrum. It is a captain conundrum.
Yeah.
Because you know this was my heart. You know, we a few pods back we talked about when we captain Haaland, and this is one of the game weeks. Even though Forest, Forest's form has been maybe slightly, Haaland home to Forest, perfect. Here's the conundrum. If you think Haaland, are you going to captain? If I think Haaland's going to start, I think I'm going to captain him. It's kind of my that's my starting point. But you
think you're going to get that kind of confirmation?
No, but if I felt he was going to start, I think I'd captain him. At the moment, I've got captain Haaland and vice on Semenya, and I might stick with that.
I have my captain on Bruno and vice on Semenyo, but that's just because that's what I just had it on. I'm really torn on this.
I mean,
it's a rough week for this. So you could pick anyone in the entire game, like including not on your team. Who would you pick? That's exactly.
I'm looking at. So I'm sorry. I'm looking through the fixtures. That's so. I appreciate.
Scroll down on pick team.
Oh, it's just
easier
no
way.
one. I know. I mean, I don't love the Semenya pick, if I'm honest, but I feel like.
Well, I looked at Semenyo. I know I recognize he was on Bournemouth, but he's been a fucking great pick all year, whether he's on City or Bournemouth, and he had a 0.07 xGI with 2 points, and they won 2-0. Or 3 points, sorry. And they won 2-0. So, I mean, that shouldn't matter too much, but maybe there was a player on Forest that just shut his type of player down that I'm not thinking of.
But Forest have changed managers twice since then, probably.
Like Villa, Chelsea's a brutal fixture. I don't see that being high scoring.
I mean, the player that stood out to me in my team that I was considering would have been Wilson, but if he's
I know,
it's a no. So for me, I mean, I think Bruno Fernandes isn't a bad shout because Newcastle a bit up and down, and Newcastle.
He's been shit away. As hot as he's been at home, he's blanked in his last 3 or 4 away games. Him losing Seep, it's such a blow. You don't have that safety net of just like a 5-pointer.
Yeah, and I know Man United keep winning, but I'm not convinced they've been playing that well the last few.
They've definitely been playing with way more passion or something. You know what I mean? Like, give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, and you saw when I was saying with Ian on Slack where I was like, Cunha's a fucking hothead. And he's like, yeah, but this is what he needs right now. And I do understand that, but he's also a hothead. He reminds me of Richarlison and what's the fucking loser D name on Spurs that's just always like, you know when the players argue and they like push their head in, like, oh, like, what are you, fake headbutting the guy? We can all see you do that, you idiot. If your head touches him, you're gonna get a red card. Why are you doing that, you fucking idiot? He's like that.
But the other flip to Bruno is, and obviously it's less relevant, or it's still relevant now, is of course they don't have any other cup competitions. Although it's less an advantage now, just because obviously it's everyone's played this weekend and everyone's playing in midweek. So for me, I could be tempted by a cheeky Wilson captain, but I'm not sure.
I think Semenyo is a good pick.
Yeah, I'll probably end up.
I also think Rice could be a good pick. I know he hasn't done a lot lately, but he's still on corners. I don't know what he's made a lot of boneheaded plays the last couple of weeks. I know as a fan, you must be noticing that shit. I mean, risky as fuck today what he was doing.
I think he's tired, which was nice. Which was nice after I moaned last week. We don't play Norgard enough. At least he got a 15-minute rest today, and I think Rice needed that rest, and I'm hoping that might help him a little bit. I don't know.
He was fucking all over that guy in the bot. Like I was just like, oh my god, what are you doing, dude? Like
we look very, very.
I thought he was going to give away a penalty on that. I don't know. I haven't heard any of the post game. I'm assuming they were talking about it.
Well, I mean, I
then
think
they gave away the goal last week too. Like he's just not his like elite self these last few weeks.
He's been overplayed. Well, I was moaning to you last week that Nørgaard's not had enough minutes to take time out of Zubimendi and Rice's legs.
Yeah,
and now we're starting to do it. But it's like
I'm not selling him. I'm not selling him. Although if Semenyo doesn't. Like if they still blank and I look and I'm like, I really want Harry Wilson, I'm going to have to make a decision between Semenyo and Harry Wilson in a couple weeks here. So I might sell him.
You mean Semenyo and Rice?
Sorry, Semenyo and Rice for Harry Wilson. Yeah. So I might sell him. I mean, look, I'm just trying to think of differential captain picks here, and you guys playing Brighton, maybe it's Gabs.
Yeah, I mean, the other one is Tarkowski home to Burnley because Tarkowski's on all these corners. He's going to score. You can see it.
I'm changing the name of the pod. Chris Caps Tarkowski.
Yeah, but
what are you talking about?
Go to Tarkowski.
Did you do drugs at this game?
Go to Tarkowski.
Your cheeks are a little red. What are you fucking talking about? I'm going to go to Tarkowski. Okay, let's do
Tarkowski and look at his XG for the.
Did you just look at Tarkowski's XG?
But he is getting chances from. I know because he's getting chances from set pieces.
0 today. He had 0.
I know Chris. 0 today, but the last 3 games he had 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, and I think you'll find Burnley are not good at defending set pieces.
That is such a Burnley though are scoring, so I feel like let me just take this seriously for a second. They're not they're scoring on good teams right now. I mean, fuck, look how they just came back against Bournemouth. Bournemouth are like one of the hottest teams, Brentford. Brentford have been playing well. Like for them to fucking get 3 goals like that, and basically they got 4, but 1 got chalked off there. And then I know Chelsea were down to 10 men, but I'm pretty sure they tied with Chelsea before they went down to 10 men, if I'm not wrong, last week. I don't think you can you would really need the clean sheet to hit for this captaincy to pay off, and DEFCON, which Tarkowski has not really been getting consistently anymore. And I'm not captaining based on a goal from a center back, which you'll never be able to predict. Of course, he's going to score now because we've had this conversation, but there's no way I'm captaining this guy realistically.
But the fact we're talking about this is literally that we're scraping the barrel, absolutely scraping the barrel.
It's
anyway,
a tough week.
So
what about Thiago Bournemouth?
I think that's a shout. It is a shout. It is. I guess
he looked really good against Burnley. Like he was bullying them in the first half.
Yeah, but having just sung the praises of Brentford away from home, and then not considered. I think Thiago's a shout. I mean, I think.
Wait, can I devil's advocate it? He's scoring all his goals against shit clubs, like Flat Track Bully. We talked about it last week, and Bournemouth are not a shit club, especially Bournemouth away. So I don't know if I trust him against anyone that's not like a promotion club.
Bournemouth at home. They did beat them 4-1. I know Bournemouth are better at the moment, but they beat them 4-1 at home. But he only got an assist. But that's annoying. Another annoying game where there's 4 goals and he doesn't get that much in return. I mean, ultimately, Thiago versus Semenyo, you can argue there's not that much in it. And I guess the question is I'm ignoring that. Is Semenyo better without Haaland? That's the other question.
That is a good question. I would say no. And the other question I want to make is I'm guessing Semenyo's on Ramadan. Like these guys aren't eating, and obviously it's going to impact your physical ability, especially with 2 games back to back so closely. I mean, they need water breaks. Fuck, dude. You're I don't know. I'm never going to make anything about religion. These guys, you support whatever religion you want, but like if you're not eating and needing an emergency water break, then like I feel like your body's going to be feeling that to some degree is what I'm getting at. So I do think it's worth considering. If I don't know, I would imagine it's harder to play when you're fasting than not.
No, it's a fair point. So I guess the only player we've not talked about is Ekitike. So obviously we don't own him. He's just got. I think
he's a good shout.
I think he'll be a popular pick. He'll be a popular pick.
That makes me, lean a little more to wanting him then.
Yeah, I guess that's the other argument. So so if you assume that Haaland's out, I think we're saying the captains would either be Semenya, Thiago, Ekitike, or I think you could always argue Bruno Fernandes because it's Bruno Fernandes, right? And I know you said they've been not as good away from home, but he could certainly, if he got a double digit against Newcastle, we wouldn't be shocked. And he's on pens, as he proved today. Well, as we already know. I think Harry Wilson's too much of a. I think Harry Wilson's too much. I think owning Harry Wilson's probably enough at the moment, rather than trying to be crazy captaining him.
What about this as a long shot? KDH, if you owned him.
No.
He's their main attacker, though, right? Burnley home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no, I agree.
I mean, I'd probably captain Tarkowski over KDH.
Okay. I'm just like, if I could just free hit, who would I captain? Like, honestly, man.
But I think the risk is if you captain. Depends how you want to play the game, but if you captain outside of Semenya, Thiago, Bruno Fernandes, Ekitike, whoever the captain favourite is kind of be anti against. I mean, I think it'll be spread though, won't it? If that kind of makes sense. I mean, ultimately, you want the guy that's going to score the most points, and no one actually knows, do they? But yeah, right.
If I had Fulham, if I had Harry Wilson, like known, he's fine, I would consider it. Like I would if it wasn't Rice that I had to sell right now, if I just had if I had an Enzo, like I would definitely fucking just get Harry Wilson in if he was confirmed fit like now for this game. That being said, dude, I know Liverpool just fucking pumped West Ham, but they did not look that weak the last few weeks. They've actually been playing well. Like I was surprised Liverpool fucked them up so much. So I don't know, man. They could go right back to like a 1-1 versus Fulham. I don't know. It's a tough week all around. I think it's realistically for me between Semenyo, Bruno, Thiago.
Good home team. Yeah, Fulham are a very good home team. They are the classic good home team. Right. Anyway, I think we've done that to death, and I'm conscious of time as well.
Okay, just so you know, I'm on Semenyo. I'm gonna put it on Semenyo.
I'm sticking with Haaland, Semenyo, because if there's a chance Haaland plays, I like Haaland.
And it's just because he's at home. Bruno's away, Thiago's away. That's why.
Yeah.
I think you convinced me that Thiago might be my next choice after. If Haaland's ruled out, then I may be tempted to go Thiago over Semenya, because I agree with you that I think Semenya is less good without Haaland, which is a little bit roundabout way of saying I should probably go Haaland.
I know. I don't think I said that. I don't.
Well, I said to you, do you think Semenya is he better without Haaland? You went no, which means he's better with Haaland. So
no, it could mean no.
He's exactly
the same. They're the same.
Everything's the same. I don't think that's what
the world is not just ones and zeros, right. Chris.
It is right. So Pete Newman's. I think we already covered this. Is Virgil van Dijk a must-have when to bring in for Timber or Manoes? He's not a must-have for me. He's not. I mean, I'm conscious we probably told people not to buy him last week, and now he scored a goal. When he scored that goal, I was like, oh, bloody hell.
3 fucking weeks in a row, he's got an attacking return. Like, I'm going to pull him up.
But there was something around there. They're kind of going through like a hot patch on set pieces. But I just don't think he's a buy.
This guy has 3 goals and 1 assist, and so 4 returns, and they've come all in the last 6 weeks. 3 of them in the last 3 weeks. And I do not feel like they're going to keep a clean sheet when I watch them. Their Forest clean sheet was a fluke. a fluke. And the Sunderland one I didn't really see. I
And
Wolves
the other
away,
thing
I do think they could clean, but there's no way in hell that's a lock. Brighton away is not a lock, and Tottenham at home is not a lock for a clean sheet. You tell me how good or bad Wolves, Tottenham, and Brighton are for cleans. I think he's a good rank protecting pick right
That's
now,
fair.
but I
that's
don't
fair.
think like he's a must. And I
Yeah.
feel like they also have FA Cup and 2 Champions League games before, game week 31 is what there's a lot of games they got to play before this blank. So I don't like the Wolves game is now, so it's enticing to get him in now. But then Spurs and Brighton, like, I don't know. I just feel like you get forced into these things sometimes when this super popular player just happens to randomly get his fucking goals all in a row. And then you just know the second we all go get him, he's going to go back to 2-pointers. I had him over the Christmas break where he had that really good fixture run and he did fucking nothing. And he, for whatever reason, went from always getting defensive contribution points to never getting them. Now it's kind of like 50-50.
Yeah, so he's definitely not must have. I think that's a good summary though. He's a good rank protector. Right. So Pete Newman also asks, budget midfielders to game week 31 in place of Sarr and Rice. I mean, I wouldn't personally sell Rice, but that's up to you. I can see why you might want to sell Sarr. So he's got Tavernier, maybe.
I love it.
Iwobi. I mean, I told you to get Iwobi last week.
I don't want Iwobi, but I love it.
I like Iwobi. I mean, I was considering Iwobi. I said earlier Iwobi over Wilson. There's also a world where I buy Iwobi in 31. I get Iwobi Wilson double up, but we'll see without that. Oscar Bob, no chance. He's not playing enough minutes. KDH, yeah, why not? KD, I like KDH.
He was sort of like going to be the one I said, definitely.
And Ndiaye, no, I go KDH over Ndiaye. 100%.
What's Zobo's price? 6'8"? That's probably too expensive for budget, but he's Rice's price.
I mean, he's not put Harry Wilson in there. I mean, Harry Wilson's cheaper than Iwobi. So.
Oh, fuck. Harry Wilson, number 1, if he's fit. He probably has him already. Oh, he has a list of people. I thought you were just like throwing out names. I mean, Anderson, number 1, number 2, Harry Wilson. Probably number 3, KDH / Iwobi. Like they're on that tier below Harry Wilson and Anderson.
I mean,
what's the price?
Zobo is not far. I mean, 6.8. I mean, he might be slightly too expensive for the question, but I think Zobo is a good shout.
Yeah,
I don't mind the Tavernier shout.
I like Tavernier because he takes pens. He's just being out. He's their pen taker now that Semenyo's gone. He took a pen the other week. Then he got hurt.
Yeah.
He came right in and looked fucking incredible this week. What did he play? How many minutes did he play? I feel like he's
70.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to be at 90 now. Like he's worked his way up. No, he played 80. So he missed 1, 2, 3. He took a pen. Then he got injured, I guess, and missed 1, 2, 3, 4 games. And he came back for 10 and now 80. He's right back in the starting lineup. I feel like he's become their like quote unquote most important player. Like for FPL, that Rayan guy has become the more popular pick, but like I'd pick Tavernier before Rayan personally.
Yeah, I mean, of that list, I would probably go KDH, Iwobi, Tavernier. I'd put Wilson ahead of all of them, assuming he's fit. And the player he's not got on the list that I would consider is Anderson, obviously.
Yeah.
And then the other player he's not got on that list is, I mean, arguably Anderson and Wilson are sort of more on people's radar, albeit I don't think Anderson's that popular a pick. And then the other one is Dango.
Dango, yeah, for sure. And Rayan. But I would put Tavernier ahead of Rayan at this point.
Okay, yeah.
And I don't want Dango and Thiago. So like,
agreed.
but I would put Thiago ahead of. Also, what about Somerville for West Ham? He's being pretty decent.
No.
I mean, I don't love them, and their fixtures are horrendous.
I mean, it's about as good a shout as Tarkowski as captain. So yeah, let's move on.
What about are there any other like CBIT guys like Rodri, etc.? I mean, you probably don't want anyone blanking here.
I mean, you go Anderson above
McAllister's scoring goals all of a sudden.
There's only ones. The only other C-bit guy you talk about is Garner, but you go KDH over Garner because KDH can get C-bit anyway. Yeah. So it's not even. And they're on the same team, so it doesn't make any sense.
Sorry, go.
But it's like, if it's a bit like Anderson having an alternative, if that makes sense.
Garner's great. He's Elliot Anderson light, but not like a lot light, like just a bit light. And he got an assist this week. Look, to me, Elliot Anderson and Harry Wilson are on their own tier on this list. Number one, like 100% for me. And then after that, if you want to get cute with a KDH, or a Tavernier or Dango, like I know Dango's more popular for a lot of other people than what we're putting on, but I don't want him and Thiago, and I have Thiago, so I just immediately knock him down a peg. But he's probably just below that first tier of Anderson and Harry Wilson. Is like he's a really good pick too. But then after that, it gets a little more fucking punty. But I would probably go Zobo ahead of Dango Utara. Personally.
Okay. Right.
So like Harry Wilson and Anderson, then Zobo, then Otara and KDH.
Okay. So Larry asks, statistically, there was a suggestion that defensive contribution points are on the decline. If this trend persists, what are the implications for our teams? Are we back to 3-4-3? It's kind of interesting because I'm already on a 3-4-3. I've kind of been back to three defenders for a little while. Maybe it's 3-5-2 because I still want, it's 3-5-2 or 3-4. But for me, three defenders at the back is generally fine because they're just at one point Tarkowski looked like he was almost in the Elliot Anderson of, well, this guy's getting 4 points every week.
Sinisi, when he's not now.
Yeah. So it's definitely three at the back. Whether it's 4-3 or 5-2 afterwards, I don't know. But I mean,
I'm curious what his view of like CBIT on the decline is. Is this just like a league average? But like to me, my point is more the known every week guys are not getting them every week. They're getting them sporadically as much as anyone else. Outside of Elliot.
That's kind of what I'm taking it is. I'm reading that question as you're not getting the consistent DC contributors. The only person that's I know we didn't get it this week, but he still got 10 out of 12, if that kind of makes sense, is Anderson. Yeah. But I mean, that's the only guy that
since James Hill started playing 10 weeks ago now, James Hill has the most. And the last 2 straight weeks he hasn't got him because I fucking bought him. Is my take, but I don't know what the actual reason is. Sinisi got him this week. He didn't. It's like Mac Tia, Van Dyke, Big Gabs, Tarkowski, Sinisi. Those guys were all like getting them most weeks. And now it's like, I look halfway through the game and they're on like 2. And before it would be like, oh, he like Lacroix was in the mix too. They were on like 2. And then it would be like, they just get 8 at the end of the game. And we would watch the odd game and be like, how the fuck did these guys get CBIT? I like specifically am watching this player while I'm watching the game. And I didn't even see him on the TV. And like, I just feel like it's too much of a black box on how they're getting them or something. So, but I also need to recognize like this could come and go. There could be in the last 10 weeks of the season, there might be 3 or 4 guys who just get him every week and you're going to want that or whatever. But what's also happened while this like more nailed set of CBIT guys have gone a bit more sporadic is there's just like 7 or 8 sexy as fuck midfielders now and you've got Elliot Anderson who has become the main CBIT guy, as well as Harry Wilsons and Semenyos and Brunos and Boomos and, name 4 more guys in the middle there that are almost like way more of a must than Tarkowski or Mac Tia. And up front, you've got Ekateke doing his fucking thing all of a sudden, Thiago doing his thing all of a sudden versus the shitty teams, João Pedro becoming a insanely good player versus the shitty teams as well, and Holland's Holland. So it's like you're going to bench Holland for Tarkowski? Maybe if he's CBITting every week, but not when he might not.
But I think the other point is, I think particularly the other thing with the defenders, when you think about DCs, so even when Tarkowski was doing, actually he did get DC this week, actually,
I know,
Tarkowski.
but after
But he got
too long, I can't trust him
but-
now.
But he got 3 because he let goals in, so he got a minus point.
Yeah.
Whereas that's the other thing is you're not seeing many clean sheets. I mean, Arsenal, we haven't kept clean sheet for a little while, it feels
Yeah.
like. And
Good point.
And so although we get excited about the DC, I do think it was sorry.
2 cleans, just City and Wolves. By the way, Wolves guys versus Villa, not some fucking shit club versus Villa. They are not a good team to target anymore. But go on.
But I think the point is, I know we like the DCs, but you kind of choosing the defender knowing they might get a clean sheet. But at the moment, no one's really getting cleans on a consistent basis. So it's and then as you say, when you've got more options in midfield and forwards.
Week before,
how many cleans last week?
And that was with a double game week. Week before, 1, 2, 3, 4 cleans. Week before that one, 2.
But it's different teams. It's different teams every week.
Yeah.
So
you're like 2 to 5 cleans max every week right now. It's not good.
Here's the transition question from Tom then. Okay. What are your thoughts on the best keeper for the home stretch?
Let me go to fixtures. Well, okay. So first of all, this is going to greatly rely upon double game weeks. So as of now, I'm going to say Ederson because he's the only keeper I know that has at least one double game week.
Donnarumma.
Whatever his fucking name is, City.
I mean,
that's how long it's been since I've even
looked
at a City.
Do no one pick Ederson because he's not in the game anymore.
You know what I mean? Fuck Ederson. City. Or Henderson, I guess, which could be a pick. So Dubravka's still the best second guy for he's going to be the starter the rest of the season, and he's 4 million still, or 4.1 or whatever he is. This is going to greatly depend on blanks and doubles and blah, blah, blah. But let's just say it isn't based on that. There's no standout team before I look at fixture difficulty rankings here. I think you should just kind of go on a hunch at this point.
I mean, I'm kind of stuck with Alisson until I get to my wild card. I'm like, I'm not going to change that now. I mean, the players that have stood out to me during the season have been obviously Raya.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't pick him now because we're about to blank. Henderson, because I feel like he's got a few penalty saves. He's, Pickford, although if you look at his record, he's barely kept it clean in the last 7 or 8 weeks, which probably compounds the Tarkowski DC's dropping off. Royce, but I do think Sunderland have dropped off, albeit would you back them to get better now that Xhaka's back? Maybe. Their fixtures are good after the blanks. Donnarumma, I don't mind Donnarumma as a shout, and I do think Donnarumma may be a very popular keeper, particularly if City definitely blank in 31. And we know they've got 2 doubles, and we know City rotate. And I've talked about this multiple times. City keep more cleans in the running, so it's no surprise that one of the
problem is if O'Reilly is not seriously injured, you're probably going to go Haaland, Semenyo, O'Reilly on this wild card, or everyone else's, and you're gonna not have one of them. And there's no fucking way you're not getting Semenyo on your wild card. And if Haaland is fit with a double game week, you're probably no way you're not getting him. And O'Reilly's playing out of position in like an attacking 8. So why the fuck would you, except for, I do think he's a high rotation risk around these wild card type things, especially now that he's got a knock.
Yeah,
so I think that, like if you've used your wild card and you're asking this question, I think you have to wait. You can't make a move right now. We all have a shitty keeper.
But my instinct is Donnarumma might be the guy, but we'll see. Yeah. I think Kelleher is if I was buying one now, maybe if I had a blank piece of paper now, I'd probably buy Kelleher for the next few game weeks. I think they've got the better fixtures.
He didn't play because he had a baby.
Yeah,
I'm assuming he's back.
I mean, Bart Verbruggen seemed to be popular, but I do not. And they.
What about Lamens? They have no Europe, and like They've actually been keeping cleans. Their fixtures aren't great, but they've been keeping cleans. It's like kind of weird to me that they've kept a few, yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
And they play Brentford in 34.
Last week they
which
beat Everton. Who'd they play the week before? No, they let one in versus West Ham.
But
they
you look at any keeper,
Spurs, so that's 2 in the last 4 weeks.
I mean, no one's consistent. It's just rubbish, really.
And they cleaned City, so that's 3 in the last 6 weeks. I don't know.
I mean, I've got Alisson, who I was obviously slating, but you look, he's probably been one of the best keepers in the last 3 weeks. He's got 2 cleans.
I think they're all shit. There's no clear answer. I think Royce is one to watch now that Zach is back, like you said. But if Mukiele is back, he's such a good pick. There's no way you're going to double up. I could see if Mukiele is back and they end up having a double game week, he's like an attacking CBIT 4.5 million D. I'd way rather have that than Royce. And I think that I think Lamens is one to watch too. He's got 3 clean sheets in his last 6 or 7 games, and they don't have any Europe. And they are definitely, as much as they haven't been winning convincingly, they definitely have way more spirit and fucking belief and whatever. And they're in 3rd, so they're playing hard. So I do think, as shitty as everyone is, I don't know where his saves are at, which brings me to the guy I have in net right now. I have no confidence in them keeping a clean right now, which is Chelsea. But there's no way I'm spending 5 point whatever on Chalobah, even if he's getting CBIT at this point, because A, he's not getting CBIT every week anymore. B, he's way too expensive for them not keeping cleans. But Sanchez is getting me a fucking save point every week. As much as they're losing points on goals, like at least I'm getting a save point. And usually that doesn't happen with like a top 6 club. It's usually they get it clean or not, and there's just no save points with these types of clubs. He's getting them, so I'll take a bone. Any clean you get from any keeper at this point for the next few weeks is basically just a fucking bonus, because even Burnley's scoring goals.
Yeah, and so just one last thing I'm going to say is we talked about Dubravka being the best second keeper. He is at the moment, but when we flip a wild card for a bench boost, I do not want Dubravka to be my bench boost
correct.
keeper.
Agree. Correct. Agree.
Yeah. So I think it may be a Kelleher, it may be a Royce, Donnarumma as your main keeper with the other guys a backup, but we don't know the answer to that yet, and it's a game week 31 type question to come
if
to.
You
so
have
let's
to make a keeper pick this week for some reason, and you don't have a wild card, is why I'm guessing this. And I don't even know why you would do this, but like, let's say I would probably get Ederson. You know what I mean?
Donnarumma.
I would get Donnarumma.
Right. So Matty asked us the same question he asked us last week, which is, how do you navigate your team for game week 31 when you've already used your wild card? And we told him last week,
just get City. Or don't sell your City. Don't get them yet.
Don't sell your City. We said
you're just so you know, bud, you're fucking breaking up.
Roll your transfers.
So start again.
We said to him, roll your transfers. I still stand by that.
Mm-hmm.
You'll find out the City game and hope they lose to Newcastle and it frees it up for you. But use your transfers as a premium. That's all you can do. And potentially tackle game week 31 with 10 players if it saves you a transfer.
Also, wild card. No, I meant that as a saying, not as a chip for the game. Outside the box thing that could happen is the fucking double game week sucks and you're in the clear. Like, yeah. I've been kind of listening to people talk about it vaguely, because as soon as I hear a pod or another thing talk about chip strategy, I'm like, too far away. I don't care. I don't want to overthink this shit, right? But I feel like I heard them say, like, there's a highly likely. It was a guy that I actually bench boost this week because of this. He's like, the outcomes from all those various outcomes are like everyone has shitty fucking double game weeks, man. They're all playing like Villa away and Liverpool away and stuff. Like, so like based on like who the highest likelihood of getting through is, and then the second highest likelihood if this guy upsets this guy, he's like, it's not great. It's not like huge haul players, and most of it's the popular players we all already have anyway.
It ultimately it comes down to, by definition, the bench, right? It comes down to who are the punty guys is going to be. Who's, that second keeper is critical to a bench boost. You're basically going to have a second keeper, 2 defenders. Because we just talked about we're going to be playing 3 defenders, so it's your goalkeeper, 2 defenders. That's the core of it, and then it's at the moment we've all got a little bit of a headache when it works out which midfielder or forward do we bench. And it just means we don't have to worry about it that week. That's kind of how it's playing out. So for me, it's all about the defense and the goalkeeper, and it's all about targeting those games for that double. And you just playing the odds. You get a guy that might get you. That's when the DCs plays a bit more, right? Because I know it's more up and down. It's like 50-50. Well, you got a good chance that if you get like a Senesi, you go, well, okay, he's got 2 games. He'll get a DC in one, but not the other, and then he'll play both games. I've got 6 points. Plus anything above that is a bonus, and that's kind of where you're at. That's what we'll be talking about when we get there.
Only thing I would add to that is just the players that I would target now would be like the talismanic Harry Wilson, if he's confirmed fit type players that have a fixture. They're getting 12 points, 9 points in weeks where they have a single fixture right now. So if they don't double, they're still a good pick that week for your bench boost that you're not going to be able to set up as well as us when we wildcard. So think if this guy had a single game week when guys like Tavernier are double game weeking and everyone's bringing in Tavernier instead of Harry Wilson on their wildcard or whatever, what's the odds that Harry Wilson gets as many points as Tavernier? I think players like Harry Wilson have a really good shot of potentially outscoring double game week players. So just focus on those guys that don't blank in 31 now, like Harry Wilson, and I'm just, part of my pun, but blanking on other names right now, but Harry Wilson type players.
Yeah. It's the classic. You go for a double player because he doubles over a solid single game week player who's been doing well all season. Although Fulham's fixtures do drop off after the blank.
Well, I was going to ask you that. What are the fixture runs like for some of these
Fulham's are not good.
They're not horrible, but they're not good in immediately after.
What?
And then they're pretty. It's not good. Even
Liverpool, Brentford, Villa, Arsenal.
Yeah. Even their green fixtures, Wolves away, which should not be green anymore.
Yeah. Right. Last question, then we should wrap up. Do we target teams playing Spurs?
No.
Attacking wise, 100%. Go for it. All in, triple captain. I mean, I kind of targeted them this week with Harry Wilson. That's why I went for him.
No, you didn't.
Spurs are awful.
Fine, but they're not like, I don't know. It's a tough one because you know what? Yeah, fine. Put them in the mix of players where, like, if Bruno has Spurs, I would captain him. Spurs home. I mean,
Liverpool home to Spurs in 30. Ekitike does well this week. We all need him.
Yeah, fuck. Should we just go get him?
It is a good shout.
Should we just get him? I feel like after all that talk earlier, I just think it's kind of prudent to wait this week because we're going to know City. We're going to know, like, they all have Europe and FA Cup. I mean, but it's like one of those things. If you go Wolves away, though, Wolves, I can wait. I can wait a week.
But on the side, but I think the Spurs, I wouldn't attack them from a defensive perspective, if that makes sense, because I feel like they might score a goal, but they do look like they're going to let goals in. And they're
When's Romero back from his red? Because he's as much of a piece of shit as this guy is. He is a decent defender when he's not doing piece of shit stuff.
Well, the other issue is that the other thing for them is they're still in Champions League, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, they need to rename that league if they're in it.
Well, I
thought you'd like that one. I feel like they should be wary that Romero hasn't been playing these last 2 games, though. Like, I do think that's a big part of why all of a sudden they're leaky. I think on paper, dude, like Paulinho when he was at Fulham was fucking sick. We were like Fulham's so good defensively because Pauline is there. Like they have one. If you go through kind of the list of their players, like Bentancur is like a decent player, dude. If you went to other teams, you'd be like, he's a good player. So it's kind of odd to me that they're so bad. Like
there was an element
Solanke is a decent player
because they've got this new manager in. So we don't know what he's actually going to do, right? Because he's only had a couple of games. The issue they've got is they've got so many games coming up because of the Champions. Well, certainly, there's currently in the Champions League. I can't imagine they can get that far. He's not going to have time to get his sort of ideas across, right? But who knows?
And Van de Ven, man, the guy's fast. Like we've seen highlight reels of him running back, and it's just weird. It's like, and I do find they are a little Jekyll and Hyde defensively as well, where all of a sudden they just keep clean sheets versus club like Brentford type clubs. So it's like I wouldn't target them per se. Like who are besides Liverpool? Like who do they have coming up here? They got Palace. I mean, yeah, Captain Sarr. You're not going to do that. Forest. Their attackers are trash. I'm not captaining Elliot Anderson as much as I love him. Sunderland. Brighton, Wolves. Who are we targeting them with? Basically, is this like a loaded question for Liverpool? I mean, that's it. That's it. The rest of the season.
It was a good question though, because it's made me look at Ekitike for Liverpool and go,
yeah, fair.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, well, that's probably a chance for us to. I mean, I think ultimately, it's a pain because it's a Tuesday, but we have to keep our eye very closely on that Man City news because. I mean, if I get a hint that if Haaland's out this week, I'm very tempted to go Ekitike. I think you've got to because you're playing the odds then, aren't you?
If Haaland's out, confirmed for a bit, Ekitike is irrelevant by the deadline. That's how much that transfer would happen.
Yeah, and the thing is, and we're all in the same boat if then they get knocked out and they don't blank in 31, because then we'd all need him back. But then, I mean, it might be you just tackle it without him. Then you go, okay, there's what it is. Because if we're gonna wildcard in 32, you go, okay, well, Haaland's not playing game week 29. He may not play. He probably. The thing is, game week 30 is 2 weeks away from now, right? So if his injury isn't that bad, you've got to assume he's back for game week 30. So if you do take him out this week, you're taking him out for 1 week with the risk that you then miss him in 30 and 31 unless you're going to reverse the transfer, which I don't think you will. Who knows?
Quick update. I just checked the price change sites. Haaland's predicted drop is tomorrow. We're recording on Sunday. So Monday night as of now, but he's still miles off it. It's just like the rate of what he's being sold. Yeah, so that slows down and it probably does slow down tomorrow and picks up Tuesday once we get presser news.
Yeah.
Second player, Ekitike, is over 2 days away going up. And he's not moving up with the high percentage either. I think a lot of people are like, I got a lot of money tied up in Haaland, and that's who I need to wait.
Yeah, and also he plays Forest at home, and if he's fit, we probably wouldn't captain him.
Right. After that, Van Dijk is over 2 days away. He's only at like 10% up. Timber is now not even going down anymore because he scored today. He's going up. He goes up in 2 days. So that popular move is you don't have to rush that. Who else is there?
I mean,
Harry Wilson's obviously not going to go. Well, he might because he had such a big haul today.
We're all going to have to sit and wait until Tuesday. Hope we get some good press conference news, and try not to get too distracted by work.
Chalaba's dropping tonight. Whatever. He's the only popular player. Tarkowski's dropping tonight.
Well, that's annoying.
Mukiele's dropping tonight. Zobo's going up tonight. Semenyo's going up tonight.
Yeah, Chalobah dropped the other day. I mean, it's annoying because I'm losing. I got a free drop in Tarkowski now, but I don't have.
The thing is, you can't avoid it completely. Like you had Chalobah, Enzo, João Pedro for that nice little run at Chelsea. You knew the second that run ended, they're all going to start dropping. Can't get rid of them all that quick. Without you're not going to take hits.
I mean, I got Chalobah at 5.3. He got to 5.8 or something. So it's what it is.
So you get 2 drops per drop. Then that's a good thing. Like you can afford to take 1 or 2. I'm now taking full drops on Timber every time he drops. It's like I didn't go up with him, right? So like it's like he goes from 6.4 to 6.3. I lose 0.1. He goes 6-3 to 6-2. I lose. Point one. It fucking sucks. Like, you're better to let your guys that you've built up money win drop because it takes them longer. And then if they randomly haul, like Timber scored, they pop back up again. So you don't need to rush this shit. And I looked at the money. I know I was joking about Mr. Moneybags online. I have a fuckload of money. I'm at like 106.8 or something. So I think a couple guys were near me. You're at like 103. People are like 102, 103. Like,
I'm at 103.
Something low. It wasn't high.
I'm not 103.
I don't know if it's 103. You weren't near me. You weren't near me and Barry and Paulo.
Really?
Maybe you weren't, and I just forget. But you weren't at the top.
I'm 105.1, but I've got 0.8 in the bank.
Okay, so you're actually pretty high too. That's high. I saw a lot of 102, 103, 102, 104. Like, that's high.
Wow.
So my point is, I don't need to be fucking jumping in early on these moves right now. Like, I've got to this is going to matter in 2 weeks when we all wild card and I could squeeze in a
but
whatever.
But I think you get too caught up in it because you get to it and you go, okay, I don't know. Let's say I'm £1 million worse off than you are, right? And then when we do wild card, we have 14 players the same, and then you can afford to have, I don't know, making this up. You can have Gordon.
It'll matter in D.
But you can have Gordon at 7.4 over me having, I don't know, Iwobi at 6.3. I'm making this up, but you know, it comes down to, you know,
it'll be the
or
defense.
Or you can have Senesi versus my Alderate or something. It's that, you know, it comes down to that. So it's like,
it'll help for sure.
It'll help a little bit, but it helps
right now as you get near the end. It matters the most on that wild card. After the wild card, I don't even look anymore. I don't give a fuck. But it matters a little now.
I'm almost trying not to look now because I want to roll. So
this week, if you don't think you're going to go Holland Ekitike with 100% certainty, I really think Wolves away. He just got a goal and 2 assists. Look through his track record, dude. He's got a lot of 2s in there too, man. Wolves away is a really fucking tough fixture all of a sudden, dude. Wolves are beating teams like Villa. Wolves are not shipping goals. I do not think Ekitike is going to go bananas this week. He plays Wolves away, right?
But I would say that Liverpool in a bit of form, though.
Totally.
So you can talk about all this.
I disagree. They look like shit against Forest and got lucky. They're in a bit of luck form. They fucked up West Ham, fine.
I think their confidence is back a little bit. So ultimately it's Liverpool. So you do sometimes get these teams that are defensively better, but someone, you know, like a Liverpool, Man City, and Arsenal could.
I would sum it up like this: Holland's confirmed out. I'm just going to get a Ekitike. Fine. If he's not, I would rather have Holland playing Forest uncaptained than Ekitike captained, with another captain on my team and Holland playing Forest. Because Ekitike is playing Wolves away. I think I'm more worried about Van Dijk this week because out of all the fixtures that Pool have, this is their best chance to clean, and that guy's got to be close to 100 EO right now with the fucking sadistic following that happens in this game when someone does well like that. Like, do I think he's going to score? No, I don't. I mean, of course, to fucking say that he's going to score now or whatever. But like the reality is it's so hard to time the attacking returns. That's why he's looked good lately, not for anything else. He hasn't really been keeping Seabed in the last couple games. They're not really looking like they're going to clean anyone. They fluked out a clean. But I do think it's more realistic that Van Dijk hurts me more this week than Ekitike. If Holland is not confirmed out, this is a way better fixture for Holland than it is for Ekitike. And I'd rather roll the transfer anyway to have maximum news through this European and FA Cup bullshit that we're going to have to worry about before the deadline after. You just potentially lost Harry Wilson. We potentially lost Erling fucking Haaland. There's other shit that happened too. People get injured, and they all have 1 or 2 more games that are non-league after this week before the next week. So it's going to be a shit show potentially with a blank coming up. I'm definitely rolling unless Haaland is like, oh, he's for sure injured. Then I will move him to Ekitike. Otherwise, I feel like I have to roll. And I think most
Okay, right.
will ultimately realize that.
Right. Let's call it there. The sun is shining
Praise
where
the
you
sun.
are. The
Yeah,
sun's
no
sunny
shit,
shining
eh?
in.
It's a nice day,
Um,
bud. Besides the fucking snow everywhere from last night. It snowed again. I'm numb to it now.
Yeah. Well, there's no snow here. Right. Catch you soon.